They shot him at point-blank range in the chest. There were 2 or 3 gunshot wounds, I remember, and he was lying on the floor like that quietly. I remember him with his legs folded and lying quietly. And straight away, there were 5 terrorists inside the mamad, the safe rooms, with weapons, opening the closet there and telling us to get dressed. We were naked, we were in our pajamas, and they demanded that we dress up.
What's going through your mind in that moment?
Terrible fear, fright, and shock. We got out in a line. The boys were already going out, and then Yam followed. Before that, one of the terrorists saw Yam's uniform shirt. He opened it like that. I remember his big green eyes, and he screamed at me in Arabic, and I don't understand what he's asking me.
So you're driven into Gaza with your children. What are those first few hours and days like?
It took us 7 minutes to get to Gaza and 7 weeks to return. When we came back from Gaza, the unbearable ease of how it all happened was unbearable. At first, when we arrived, we reached the tunnel. We were there for 2 days.
What were the interactions with Hamas like when you were held in these locations?
Actually, in an absurd way, they guarded us, protected us, sometimes even with their bodies, from the Israeli Air Force strikes. We talked about this absurdity. We talked about this absurdity several times. And they also made sure to point it out, like, we protect you from the Air Force attack. That is the word absurdity.
The reason Hamas wanted to keep these hostages safe is to exchange them as part of a larger ceasefire deal for Palestinian prisoners. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
The Biden campaign raised over $90 million in March as the president continues to lead donations over his opponent. The Democratic National Committee and Biden's re-election campaign said Saturday they ended the first quarter of the year with over $192 million in cash. The Biden campaign says this is the highest amount raised by any Democratic candidate and that 96% of donations were less than $200.
Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump is picking up some much-needed cash as he looks to close that fundraising gap between himself and President Biden. The former president held a fundraiser tonight in Palm Beach, raking in big donations from big-time donors.
And the Biden campaign is pouncing on it, saying it's an indication that Trump is running his campaign for billionaires and not working people. Fox News correspondent Madison Scarpino has more.
Trump is calling it the biggest night in fundraising of all time. The event raked in over $50 million, according to the RNC. That's nearly double what President Biden raised at a New York City fundraiser with former Presidents Clinton and Obama. This was the first major fundraiser for Trump and the RNC since he became the party's presumptive presidential nominee. Trump said Americans want change.
We're going to make America great again. Everyone knows it. The election's going to be in now a little more than 6 months, and it's going to be the most important, I believe, election we've ever had. I think it's going to go down as the most important date in the history of our country.
High-dollar donors paid anywhere from $200,000 to $800,000 to be at the fundraiser with the former president and first lady. And there were some big names at the Palm Beach dinner, including Governor Doug Burgum, who has endorsed Trump.
It wasn't just energizing, it was actually inspirational. Being with all of these incredible job creators, people that have, many people that started with nothing, they've lived the American dream, they've given back to their communities, they've created countless jobs around our country, and they're concerned about the future under Joe Biden.
The Biden campaign slammed Trump's high-dollar donor strategy, saying it puts billionaires first.
This campaign is Scranton versus Palm Beach. Real people who know the stakes of this election and are rolling up their sleeve to pitch in what they can.
Some donations from the fundraiser will go to a political action committee that helps pay Trump's legal bills. His campaign says that PAC also covers other expenses. Saturday's fundraiser will help Trump close the gap with President Biden, who has a cash advantage over his opponent. Trump has more fundraisers this week, including one on Wednesday in Georgia. Meanwhile, President Biden has campaign events in Madison, Wisconsin, and Chicago. In Palm Beach, Florida, Madison Scarpino, Fox News.
Well, a lucky player from Oregon has scooped the $1.3 billion Powerball jackpot, ending the over 3-month streak without a winner. This comes after Saturday's highly anticipated drawing was delayed. The Multi-State Lottery Association saying the delay was due to one lottery needing additional time to complete security procedures.
And millions of people are on the move tonight in anticipation of tomorrow's historic total solar eclipse. But it could come with big headaches on the roads and in airports. Priscilla Thompson has some more.
Tonight, a last-minute crush of travelers are flooding into the path of totality, hoping for a chance to see history.
It gives you tingles up your spine, you know, when it happens.
For our family, it's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of experience to see it. That's why we decided to travel.
As more than 44,000 take to the skies today alone, the FAA is warning about delays at airports in Little Rock, Chicago, Burlington, and more. Cities along the roughly 100-mile swath from Texas to Maine will go completely dark on Monday afternoon as the moon passes between the sun and the earth.
And we are literally over the moon to welcome over 1 million people to our state.
The millions of tourists are adding to the more than 31 million already living along the path, prompting concerns about supply shortages, cellular outages, and traffic chaos. Here in Dallas, exits like this one off of major highways that lead into downtown will be closed at certain times during the big event. NBC's Maura Barrett is in Bloomington, Indiana.
This small college town normally has a population of 80,000 people, but it's expected to balloon to hundreds of thousands, all for the eclipse, which will be seen just above this stage in this football stadium, all while William Shatner, Captain Kirk himself, narrates the moments of totality.
That excitement is spreading nationwide. Schools in Buffalo, Cleveland, and Indianapolis canceled for eclipse fever.
So it's called the Eclipse Bourbon.
Texas restaurants are serving up specialty cocktails and blackout burgers. In Maine, eclipse-themed tattoos. Plus, researchers are eager to study how animals will react. The big event is cause for other celebrations, too. In Ohio, Jenny Harris and Bart Lombardi are getting married when the sun meets the moon at a huge service for 150 couples.
It's definitely the only time it will happen in our lifetime to experience something like this. It's pretty crazy, but just so much fun.
Eclipse weekends in the woods for some of the best views, but officials say it's actually safer to stay away from the hillsides. We'll have safety tips for those outdoor tonight coming up.
And I'll take another look at that eclipse forecast. It's looking pretty good, but there's a lot to get to after the eclipse. Storms move in a couple hours after it, and then we're going to see storms stick around through Thursday. A lot of rain. Flooding will be possible. Another look at that forecast coming up.
This spring, live your life in full bloom. Discover the vibrant beauty of the season at the Good Earth Garden Center's 13-acre plant paradise. New plants arriving daily means there's always something new to experience. Discover why the Good Earth is so much more than a store. It's a place where wonder grows.
Check it out. There you are. They are?
Call your sister up.
Alcoholics Anonymous. We're here to help. For more information, visit aa.org and download the Meeting Guide app.
Kroger always gives you more ways to save on top of our lower-than-low prices. And when you download the Kroger app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons and earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. With a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. Discover more ways to save big every day. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Injured,
There's only one number you need to know. Dial 8. 888-8888.
At Rainwater Holton Sexton, no case is too big and no insurance company too strong. Just dial 8. 888-8888.
We are battle-tested, big case injury lawyers who've recovered millions for our clients. Just dial 8. 888-8888.
Been in a wreck? Anywhere in the state. Just dial 8. 888-8888.
With features you won't find on Honda CR-V, Nissan Rogue, or Toyota RAV4, the Hyundai Tucson puts the other guys in their place. Namely, the rear-view mirror. Only a Tucson compares to a Tucson. Now, get up to $1,250 retail bonus cash on a Hyundai Tucson. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Fox 16 News, sponsored by your local Nissan dealers. From the Arkansas Storm Team, weather to plan your day with meteorologist Alex Libby.
Well, here's a look at that Crane Team Drivecast. Now, this video isn't of Little Rock, but I think we could see traffic that bad tomorrow, especially in the morning. We'll have the morning commute traffic along with probably some increased tourism traffic with all the people coming for the eclipse. The weather will be good for it, though. Temperatures in the 50s with no clouds in the sky in the morning. There will be a couple clouds in the afternoon. I'll talk about that in a second. But let's talk about what we're dealing with right now. A cold front is swinging through the state. And this cold front, that's actually going to stall. And that's what's going to cause some of that cloud cover tomorrow afternoon. But right now, it's causing some thunderstorms down in Ashley and Drew County. Monticello, you just saw some thunderstorms. You're seeing another one right now. The good news with these thunderstorms, they're not severe. They're not going to create any damage. So just some thunder, some lightning, and heavy rain. Not too concerned about these storms as they move from west to east tonight. They'll be out of here by tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, you can see some rain and low clouds possible in this part of the state. High clouds possible in northwest Arkansas, and I do think some of those high clouds will be covering the total solar eclipse. High clouds are much better than the low, thick clouds. You can actually see through them. So I think the view will be partially impacted, but I think most of us will see a nice sight in that path of totality. Remember, it enters southwest Arkansas at about 1:46 in Texarkana. Little Rock, totality begins at 1:51. Remember, get outside quite a bit in advance of these numbers. And then totality begins in Jonesboro at 1:55. It moves very quick. That moon's going to get out of here just as fast as it came in. But behind it, like I mentioned, we have a lot of weather to talk about. Thunderstorms move in as early as Monday evening. They stick around all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and partially on Thursday. And that's going to lead to some very impressive rain totals, especially in southern Arkansas. So don't take these numbers literally, but it does show that the moisture for over 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 or 9 inches of rain will be possible across southern Arkansas. Now, Little Rock, not as much. In northern Arkansas, you actually won't see that much rain at all over the next few days, but everyone has a chance of over an inch. But if we do see 9 or 10 inches of rain, that will definitely lead to some flooding. And the National Weather Service has issued flood watches for that period between Monday and Wednesday morning for these southern third of Arkansas. Southern third of the counties in Arkansas are under a flood watch for Monday, Tuesday, and into Wednesday. Now we'll take a look at what next weekend has to offer because it's looking a lot nicer in my 7-day forecast coming up in a little bit. Gary?
Alice, thank you very much. With the total solar eclipse less than 24 hours away, first responders in Vermont are urging people not to head back to the country or to the hiking trails.
Yeah, it may seem like a great place for the view, but it is still very dangerous in high elevations. So Stephen Biddix has more.
Think safety first and think eclipse second.
With over 100,000 people expected to visit our region for Monday's eclipse, many are trying to find that perfect viewpoint. The local rescue teams say that's not at the top of a mountain.
Well, I think people will have expectations of being able to hike up to high points and mountaintops. And frankly, it's still winter in Vermont, and the trails are covered with ice and snow, and it's going to be slippery and dangerous hiking.
Even if it gets kind of sunny and warm on Monday, which it looks like the weather's going
going to be. You know, you get up into those mountains and it gets cold and deep snow really quickly.
To help reduce the chances of an incident, multiple popular roads will be closed. If you do decide to go out and end up needing help, rescue teams say with all the expected traffic,
we're expecting, you know, potential backups on traffic, which is going to hamper our ability to respond quickly.
And despite their best efforts, you could be waiting a while.
If you just choose to go out there on Monday to witness the eclipse from the mountaintops of the backcountry, you know, you have to be very well prepared because we could be a very long time in getting to you.
Backcountry rescues, even in the best of times in the middle of summer, take hours. It's not a quick rescue, and given the current conditions, it's going to take many hours just to get to the trailhead, potentially because of traffic jams.
Vermont Emergency Management have also warned of a large increase of traffic throughout the week and upping their resources.
To assist with potential traffic delays, the state has extended Welcome Center hours and added portable restrooms at Welcome Centers and parking areas along the interstate. We will have state police, Department of Motor Vehicles, and Agency of Transportation patrols out to assist motorists.
So to help keep you and rescue teams as safe as possible, they're asking you stay in the valleys and enjoy the eclipse at an event or a safe location in lower elevations.
Well, coming up next, Sports Director Wes Moore will be here. He has more on the news of Arkansas trying to wrap up the deal with a new head coach. Plus, the Arkansas softball team looks to win another series against a ranked team. Stick around. Fox 16 Sports is coming up next.